Plaintiff Tanner Torkelson rented a room in the defendant's apartment, and everything was good at first. However, one night Tanner claims the defendant offered him a drink similar to moonshine and then said that he was going to tickle Tanner's chest once he passed out. Tanner's suing for a security deposit and court costs. Defendant Rich Baker says when Tanner moved in, Rich thought he was a nice college kid who would be studying and going to work. But Rich claims he was more like a frat boy who had his friends and girlfriend over every night. Rich is countersuing for a cleaning fee.
Start with you.
So I moved in with Rich last spring. I was coming down to Portland to start my internship down there. Things started off pretty normal. He had a few odd personality quirks. I knew I needed to move out from living with him when one night I came back after having a couple drinks with my friends, and I went up to my room. He brought me this drink, which was oddly strong, and I asked him, like, what's in this? And he said it was like 2/3 moonshine. And then I kind of made a joke. I was like, what, are you trying to get me drunk? And he said to me, yes, and once you pass out, I'm going to tickle your chest. And so at this point, I was living with a stranger and knew that I couldn't be with him anymore. There were a few other things, just kind of normal.
But you stayed up that night. You went and got you some coffee.
Yeah, it was a tough night.
You drinking plenty of coffee and water that night.
Yeah, I had one eye open that night, Your Honor. But I mean, other than that, just kind of odd personality quirks. He didn't like when I had people over. He didn't have a job. He just kind of laid on the couch watching TV all day the whole time I was there, and just not a good living situation.
Yes,
so
that
since then I
is.
got out. Yeah.
That is a good living situation for him.
I was jealous.
For me, anybody, yeah. You can lay on the couch all day and watch television. I swear I'd like to do that. How is that? That's the good life, isn't it? You don't have to get up.
Yeah.
You can watch all your soaps. Which one you like?
Judge
All My
Mathis,
Children?
Steve Harvey, Family Feud.
General Hospital? Judge Mathis, you did say that
Judge
first.
Mathis, absolutely.
Now you're pandering. All right.
Plaintiff Tanner Torkelson rented a room in the defendant's apartment, and he claims while there, the defendant wanted him to pass out drunk so he could tickle Tanner's chest.
What else was it like living with him? Just primarily that, his little quirks? And
It was mostly that, some little quirks, yeah. And then at a certain point, he told me that he might be leaving the place soon, and I wasn't going to be able to afford the whole thing, so I knew that
How
I
much
just had
was
to go.
the rent per month?
I was paying $700 per month. I believe he said the total was something around $1,700, something like
It
that.
was in his name?
Yes.
All right. Sir, let me hear from you. Give me some background.
So I met Tanner on Craigslist. He was looking to rent a room from me. When I met him, I thought he was a nice college kid who was going to be going to work and studying.
He was ticklish.
So we're led to believe.
That's right.
He ended up being more of a frat boy. He had friends and his girlfriend over pretty much every night. When I asked him to let me know if somebody was going to be staying with us, he was kind of entitled about it, kind of egotistical, didn't want to really think that I deserved that. He just wasn't used to living with an adult and respecting that. But
So-
other than that, we really didn't have any
You
major
didn't interrupt
issues.
your soap opera. I know you had to see your Erica Kane every day. Or Asa. And what's Asa's last name? Asa Buchanan. On One Life to Live, or was that General Hospital? No, that was General Hospitals where Luke and Laura ran off. I know my soaps.
You sure do.
I used to get kicked out of school all the time. And my mother would make me stay home, and I'd have to watch the soaps with her. All right. When I got in college and turned my life around, I still watched my soaps. I have my classes scheduled around my soap, around my soap operas. And so, tell me why you're suing him.
So we had an agreement for me to move in that I would pay him a $700 security deposit and first month's rent, and I paid that to him. And so then I moved out after July, I believe. I was out by September 1st. And we had a conversation before I moved out, and he said that it wouldn't be an issue to get me my deposit back and everything would be okay. And I have text messages proving this. And then even after I moved out, I asked him again for the money. And he then told me he'd be able to give it to me on September 17th. So then I believe it was September 15th came around. I sent him a text message just to say, hey, are we still all squared away? And that's when he then said that
right.
he would not be returning it.
Let me hear from you.
On August 8th, he came and let me know that he wanted to move out. It was after a conversation where I was seeing if he could afford the apartment on his own. You know, we discussed that 30 days notice was the agreed time if one of us was going to move out.
Can I interrupt real quick?
No, let him finish and I'll let you.
So
correct that.
I didn't have anybody move in with me during September. I used the deposit money to pay the rent for September. I'm also countersuing him for $60 of cleaning. He never vacuumed. I had to wipe chocolate fingerprints off the wall, and there was some Chinese
Are
food
you a
left
college
over.
kid?
Yes.
All right, well, that's pretty good for a college kid. You know, most of them will wreck your place. All right, and you wanted to say what? And you have any evidence that he owes you the $700?
I was never aware that we had this 30-day agreement. We didn't have that as I moved in. It came up in that conversation, like we said. But then we continued speaking, and he agreed that he would give me the $700 deposit back, even though I gave him.
You said you have some
24
type
days.
of text you wanted
Yes,
to show
yes.
as evidence.
This is after I moved out, yes.
And what does this indicate? I understand this is you. I understand that you can't get me the whole $700, but can you get me any of it now? I owe a man $100 for pot.
What?
And another one, I owe $30 for whiskey, for Jim Beam.
Some good whiskey.
See, I know what you drink. These young folks, I know what's going on out there. It doesn't say that, though, by the way. It does say that you, it implies that you all have an agreement. And your response was, I don't have enough for my rent this month. If I can get someone in on the 1st, that might change. But as for now, the soonest I can pay is the 17th. Then you skip that subject, Doc. You say, by the way, have you seen my wine glasses? I need my wine.
Plaintiff Tanner Torkelson rented a room in the defendant's apartment, and he claims while there, the defendant wanted him to pass out drunk so he could tickle Tanner's chest.
Sir?
Yeah, I am
you
still
tell
missing
him
that
you're
wine
gonna
glass.
pay. Pardon?
But, you know, I also have text messages saying, you know, that he knew that there was the 30-day notice. We, of course, when I first met him, when he first moved in, several times have him
Yeah, what do you have? Let
living
me see
there.
your text messages.
And then I also have a text message saying that he's fine with paying for the damages.
The
I can just
$60?
take that out, yeah.
All right. This is what date, sir? This is after, let's see. Is this subsequent to the one he has given me?
I think
His
the
is
one about the
August
damages.
29th. When did you all have this conversation? It doesn't say the date. Yes,
About
it does.
the-
September 14th.
Right.
All right, and then this is you.
Yeah.
Sounds like a little one-sided.
Yeah, he was
here.
asking about his deposit like immediately after he told me he was
Hold on,
moving
sir.
out.
I was
This is
worried about
after
it.
you all. This is after you had agreed to pay him. Then there's a one-way amendment to that. I'm not legal. I looked into it. This is you. All of a sudden, you looked into it.
Lawyer.
Did?
After you've agreed to pay him, suddenly you looked into it. I'm not legally responsible to return any money to you. Having broken the terms of the lease agreement, that is, not giving me 30 days notice of leaving or a month notice, I never found another roommate. Man, you coming up with all kind of excuses. I may have to ask you for more money on your end. So you actually want money from him.
Yes, he did.
And sir, I'm gonna grant you your $60. Did you agree to changing this text? Because what he is suggesting that he wants a new agreement. Did you agree to this new agreement?
I'm sorry, what's the new agreement?
All right, the new agreement he's proposing is that you owe him. Do you agree with what he said here?
No.
All right, so sir, what you have is a proposal to change this agreement because you looked into it. He has to also agree. So the only way you can change this text where you agreed to pay is for him to say, yeah, you're right. Let's make a new agreement. He did not want to change it. Therefore, we have to stick with the original agreement. which is affirmed on this text, I'll grant you your $60 cleaning fee before even looking at it. I know a college student, you're getting off lucky, $60. So I'll grant you your $60. And I'll grant you, however, sir, no court costs, but your $700 security deposit because he agreed to return it until you got religion or you went to some jailhouse lawyer and talked to some jailhouse lawyer who misled you. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir.